For the record, my lord, we also want to thank you for the guidance, as sanity has since returned to the courtroom. But I wish to state that the confusion was arising from journalists who had been blocked from entering, and your guidance has since assisted in having everybody in their desired place. That said, my lord, at the last hearing, apart from the cross-examination application, we had notified the court of the need for an attempt to mediate and resolve this amicably. The circumstances have not facilitated the same because the second and ninth respondents have been missing. And speaking through their counsel this morning, we have been informed that the exercise of a discussion could only be undertaken after today's proceedings. In the event that they will be available, we will still undertake to avail ourselves for the same.
Except my lord, my clients are ready for the cross-examination of today, but they have instructed me to object to their former lawyers not to cross-examine them. But because they had some information they shared during the time they were representing them, which was confidential and could prejudice them.
That is the very reason that there was some. When you begin making statements with different people, you cannot say
then my lord, at an appropriate time, I will move to it so that I can present my objection and court determines it.
We're ready for Mr. Kibalama. Moses Nkonge, my lord.
All the I swear by the Almighty God.
I swear by the Almighty God.
That this I shall give. Touching the matter now shall be the whole truth. Nothing but so
My lord, we had requested for 2 witnesses. One is in court, we are saying that the other witness should move out.
Mr. Singh was kept out briefly. We shall call you after.
My lord, with your guidance, I think we presume that the after is admitted in evidence. Mr. Nkonge, Moses Kibalama, there are 2 affidavits on record. I want you to first identify them. 3 affidavits on record. I want to first identify them and on them for the purpose of this examination. And maybe to guide you, the first one was made on have a look at this affidavit. Dated 14th day of September.
Can I go? Let us have his program. Qualification. No of education.
Mr. Kibalama, for the purposes of this explanation, can you repeat this one and quote your full names?
My full names are Moses Kibalama.
Your age?
59 years.
59 years old. What is your profession or what do you do for a living?
Some closet businesses.
Pardon?
Some businesses.
You need to be allowed for court to get your evidence. To be audible.
Yes.
You have private businesses.
Yes.
Apart from the private business, what do you do? You have another business. What is your profession?
Well, I got a diploma in business administration, which I attained at Makerere College of Diplomacy in the year 1995.
1995. I've also been told that you are a former police officer.
I've been joined the police in the year 1974.
And you also had several training in Sandhurst.
And that is Coastal Guard.
And that puts you at the high paid police officer.
Yeah, mostly the VIP protection and related services.
VIP protection of the former president, I think.
Yes, from President Obote, Paul Mwanga, President Binaisa, and I was a military officer.
So I'll be very right to think that you are very knowledgeable in the political dispensation and the history of that.
Yes, I am.
Now, there's an affidavit of 14th September.
Yes.
Is that your affidavit?
By virtue of my signature here, I would say it's my affidavit.
You can return that one. There's another one. There's this one also. It is also dated 14th September.
The same day?
You check, you read the date.
The 14th day in September 2020.
2020. Possibly the same day. And before the same condition of oath, or drafted by the same lawyers?
No,
No, that is a different lawyer.
this is different law.
So in the space of one day, you moved two different lawyers taking the evidence.
First way,
It's island now.
the affidavit say how
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can understand. Now I'll have a simple question to put to you. On 14th September, you saw an affidavit, in support of the intention to change the name from NURP to NUP, National Unity Platform. And that is the affidavit of 14th September. Is that true?
Of which year, sir?
2020. This year. And that is the first affidavit I gave you. Is that your evidence?
Can you return it, sir?
That is it, Mr. Kibalama. And in that affidavit, you say,
Take us to the paragraph.
yes, that's what I want to know. First, in paragraph 5, you say that the applicants have no local standard. That's what you say, paragraph 5. And this specifically are saying that the application is frivolous, is responsive, is bad in law. And indeed, you are saying that all what the founder members, the founder made applicants, whatever they are saying are falsehoods. That's what you are saying in paragraph 5.
That's what I said.
That's what you said.
Yes.
Now, in the last affidavit, the supplemental affidavit, my lord, you say in paragraph 3 that after making further consultations, that's what you say,
Yes, sir.
with the new lawyers.
Yes.
You acknowledge you had other lawyers, then you go to new lawyers.
Yes, sir.
One, what motivated you?
To get my own lawyers.
No, you are not getting new lawyers, you are making consultation. What motivated you to consult other lawyers? You have read the affidavit, you read the application, you made evidence. That very day, what motivated you to consult other lawyers?
Well, since I'm not a lawyer myself, when the matter came up, to my knowledge, I had to do a lot of consultation in order to be guided.
When you say when the matter came up to your knowledge, it came to your knowledge you made an affidavit on 14th.
Yes, sir.
After that, you had another matter?
No, I just needed the guidance from what kind of consultation. So that's how I got that new lawyer, and the lawyer had to give me guidance on how to handle this matter.
Who are these new lawyers?
My lawyers, the gentleman seated near you.
What is his name? Do you need to check on the paper to know his name?
Yes, yes.
You should seek permission of
You seek permission to read.
If you don't remember, it's not an offense. Then you should not
Mr. Yamukama, who seated here.
Mr. Yamuka.
This is Mr. Biamukama, who is seated next to me. Is the lawyer you consulted?
They are consulted.
And Mr. Biamukama, the lawyer seated next to me, after consulting him, he told you to do another affidavit.
He advised me to do another affidavit in order.
No, before he advised you, but you did not have it in mind, you were just consulting.
No, I was consulting for legal guidance.
Was that enough motivation?
Yeah, it was. Me, for example, me, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not studied in that area. I need to sit out, learn people.
Like the police officer.
Yes, sir.
No, the police officer.
At least.
So you consulted. So please, did you also give him the other affidavit you had?
No, the funny thing with the first advert after you're talking about, I was in one area, I was traveling. Then colleagues and friends in NUP invited me. It was very urgent to consult them. But they didn't have the main body of the affidavit. I was requested.
No, Mr. Kibalama, that is what you're taking is different. This I gave you the affidavit.
I signed.
Is that your affidavit?
Yes, yes. I signed it.
That's what I want.
The last page.
That's what I want. Now let's go to your new lawyer, Biamukama. Who are the old lawyers?
All the lawyers were
Who are they?
Anthony Wameri, Wameri and the company advocate. And there were also other lawyers from the reporters of NUP.
Are you also aware that the applicants are represented by ebyama?
No.
Is he the same person?
These people's names are almost similar, so I can't differentiate the names. But there is a Yamukama representing the other party.
There's also ebyama representing you.
Yes.
And this person?
This person represents me.
He's also ebyama. Now, what is very critical, what I want you to tell me, what prompted you? There's what motivated, there's what prompted you to make another affidavit. Because you had been satisfied that you had read the application, you had read the allegation of the party founders, and you said these are falsehoods, they are not true. In a pace of only 4 days, you get motivated, you get prompted, and you visit ebyama. Who referred you to ebyama? Have you dealt with that lawyer before?
No, I never dealt with a lawyer before, but a friend of mine.
In your 59 years of...
Yeah.
Even when you're
A friend of mine that I consulted told me that that lawyer is a good lawyer, he's a smart lawyer, and these are the ingredients I was looking for from a lawyer.
Would the smart lawyer change the fact of the evidence? So that's what you did.
I don't think so, but you would be able to guide me thoroughly.
My own objection to that question. That was part of my technical impression because of ebyama.
Let him answer. If he says no, then it's arrest of hearing. Let him answer, unless he objects.
Now, Mr. Kibalama. Yes. You know you have, you met this new lawyer, Mr. Ebyama here. ebyama. You explained that you had read the evidence on court record, you read the application in support of this. What followed? What advice were you looking for? You're a former president, party chairperson, you had shown an affidavit.
To answer your question, what we call an affidavit at that time, to me it was
Forget about the affidavit, the evidence so far.
even the evidence before court. It was not clear evidence before court or either court process. But I was given a 30 page to sign because I was rushing to Kayunga for where I could spend the night. People told me, if you are not here tomorrow, then we will miss out to what we are
Did
doing.
you retain a copy?
Never.
You never retained a copy.
I never retained.
So what were you consulting on? Because it appears you had no evidence.
By then I didn't have any evidence, but I went on consult, and that is what brought my
What I'm interested in, what were the subjects of consultation when you visited the ebyama here?
Well, I narrated the story vaguely as I explained to ebyama that there is a group of lawyers that consulted me over these issues of the party. Then I chose to inform him exactly what was going on, so he advised me accordingly that was a mistake and that I've signed a document without knowing the content.
Now, in the paragraph 7, paragraph 6, you alluded certain affidavit, and you seem to have been informed of what was in that affidavit. Now you are telling court, you are given a last copy, you moved away because you're traveling, but when you met your new lawyer, you are simply telling him, there's an affidavit I did, this is what was in the affidavit, and that's what you said in 6. And in 7, I can read it for you.
I wish to clarify that the statement in my first affidavit prepared by Ilkwab. That's what you're saying in 7. Were hurriedly made without thorough advice and reflection of what was made in my second affidavit using the new layers, withdrawing the first and stating the truth as I know. So you're simply saying there was an affidavit and you are stating the facts, contradicting what those affidavits, the evidence you gave in the affidavit of Ilkwab. And my question is very simple. You want court to brief, you sign the last page without reading the contents, but you are able to tell these new lawyers that there is an affidavit there, and I did not give a proper account and the addresses. Where? Because you never had a chance to look at those addresses and accounts.
Now, the time by then was around 8 p.m. and I was traveling in Kayunga district.
Forget about the time.
Now, this document, what we call evidence now, I need to read through the document. And that's the fact that I told my lawyer. The fact that I just signed the last page. That's why I instructed my Secretary General that before you hand over these documents, which is signed actually, the signed one, before I hand it over to the lawyers, take a telephone and read to me the text of that document, the affidavit that we purportedly signed. Because we had no time to read it, that's so hurriedly.
I'm sorry, Mr. Kibalama.
Yes, sir.
I want to get to my question. I want to be very clear. One, a police officer, in those ranks, you're only given the last page to sign. And that's all.
Yes,
that's
sir.
what happened.
Yes, sir.
And that's what you want court to believe.
You will hear from us.
After 4 days, you meet another new lawyer, a new lawyer. He advises that the evidence is before Ilkwab. What was this evidence he was talking about? Because you seem not to have had any evidence according to your testimony here.
They're just shown here that
Court is interested. What were the evidence before Ilkwab, which were telling the lawyer that it was false?
the confusion now is that council are bringing in Mkwabo, whom I don't know.
No, the law firm.
The law firm which I don't know whatsoever. I called upon Anthony Wameri to testify on this because me, I signed before Wameri. Wameri is here, is a mature person, he can narrate.
Let's forget about Ilkwab. Now, in paragraph 7a,
yes, sir. It came about that very well that he was.
So you had the documents.
And I did look. They didn't surprise.
How did you know that there was?
They are lawyers, they are not people lawyers. But they don't give us those documents, read through, and get to understand what the shoot was all about.
So afterwards,
yes, they returned all the documents. By the time I was given it, signing the last page of the affidavit, I didn't even read the body of the affidavit because I was traveling at the time was 8 p.m. that evening. And the lawyers we are talking about, I've never known what's enough.
now I'll get to the case, Mr. Kibalama.
Yes, sir.
In paragraph 7a
Or which one?
of the supplementary the affidavit of 17th day, September, you say that the resolution and minutes of the alleged extraordinary meeting held on 22nd Feb at Hotel Triangle are not true as such a meeting did not take place. I filed the said minutes and resolution in the Electoral Commission for the sake of changing the party name as required in the party constitution.
Yes, sir.
That's what you're saying.
That's what I said.
The former police officer. You're saying you filed falsified resolutions and minutes to a public body.
The time is 11 o'clock.
Not for falsified.
You are saying there, let me get the actual.
They are not true.
They are not true.
So if they are not true, they are false.
They are false. And it is you who filed them. As a police officer, you must have. Did you know that is a criminal? It's a criminal charge.
I don't know. I'm not well versed in the law, but for us in politics, there was a need for filing records at the Electoral Commission, and those documents were actually timely. That you, on a certain date, you need to furnish the Electoral Commission with the rightful information. So
Are you telling court that one, you need to furnish the Electoral Commission with the rightful information?
Yes.
That's what you are telling court.
Yes.
And you're also telling court that what you submitted was false declarations. Can I also ask a question?
Yes.
Are you saying that we had timelines at the Electoral Commission for you to file the change of name? Was it a public requirement that by statutory requirement that you needed to file the change of name by this date? That needed you to force
Yes,
the declaration?
the PPOA, Principally Properties and Organizations Act, clarifies clearly that this kind of records have to be filed not later than 6 months after the party has held its delegates conference.
Now, the question here is the change of name from NURP to NUP. So you are simply telling court that we are time bound to make sure that you file those declarations for a change of name.
Yes, sir.
So that means you had changed the name. Forget about what you filed. Forget about what you filed. The intention to change the name
Yes.
is what you're saying. Because of that need, you needed to file certain documents. Forget whether they are falsified or not.
Yes, sir.
For change of name.
Yes, sir.
So it is evidence that you filed for the change of name.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Blair.
You filed.
No, wait. Forget what you filed. Forget about what you filed. What court is preceding that you filed for a change of name from NRP to NUP.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm concentrating the criminal part of it. Court has already captured that. I want to know, did you know that giving out false declaration to the Electoral Commission to a public officer is an offense under the penal code? Because you're a police officer, you were very lucky when to Sandhurst. Huh?
Yes.
Okay? As a police officer, in the VIP, did it occur to you that once you sit somewhere, forge, for falsify reasons, public record, to a statutory body managing electoral business and the public office, within the time that we are in now, you are committing an offense?
Well, I realized it later that some I was committing an offense.
Are you
But
committing?
the whole understanding of this matter.
No,
that,
wait, Swaram, I'm the one guiding you. You know that you are committing an offense afterwards.
Yes.
Is it your evidence that you committed an offense?
Yes, sir, because
My lord, I want to make an application that we are faced with the self-confessed, witness, criminal, and I make an application under section 98 that this court is grossed with powers, that during trial, where it occurs that there was a criminal offense committed by a person, this court makes a finding and files a file to the DPP for further prosecution. This has already appeared for you and confessed to that. That's my case, my road definitely. I feel that it forms part of the final determination. We shall proceed, Mr.
Wait for the vote.
disposing of the name.
Mr. President.
Mr. Kibalama, is this your first, you've been a leader of this party since 2004?
Yes, sir.
Is this the first time, this is not the first time you are applying for the change of name?
No, it's not the first time.
So since 2004, you can confirm this one report that we have made several requests for the change of party name?
Not several, but
Some. About 4.
How many?
twice.
Because there are 3 times, my lord. I want to make a few that 3 times. Check on the 22nd November 2012. You put a request to the Electoral Commission. I want to give you an reply for this one report. Yes? Then that was rejected. And then the second one was on 1st February 2013. The first one in 2012. The second one, 1st February 2013. This time we wanted to change Independence National Unity Party. I want to remind you. Then this is the last one, the third one. The one from NUP, the one of NUP is the last one. Okay? So your desire, and this is my question, this is not your first time that you are changing this party name. Your desire all along, since 2012, you had wanted to change the party name. And I believe when it was finally changed, you really succeeded what you wanted at that point. Because you really struggled to have it changed.
You can see the range of the name, pronunciation, whatnot. Our people from the grassroots could not easily pronounce the long letters and words. So we wanted to bring that pattern name. Really, if you look at Independent Party of Uganda, whatever, then you look at the NUP. It's really short, very short, and we have abbreviated.
So it is your evidence that indeed NURP, when you move the Republican and it is NUP, it is short and it is very, people appreciate it this time.
That's how we look at it. That's what the intention was.
That is the
to
intention.
shorten the name. And they have a shorter way of abbreviation which could be easy to the natives of this land.
And your evidence is that the grassroots, the election that you're involved in, would appreciate a shorter name.
Yes.
And indeed, National Unity Platform, the shorter name,
Yes.
which is appreciated by the grassroots.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So, your intention, your desire was done by the Electoral Commission. In respect of what transpired, it has now shortened. What has happened? What is so weird now? That this shortened name, you don't want to hear about it. What has motivated you?
It's not me who doesn't want to hear about it.
No, I'm talking about your evidence.
Yes.
I'm talking about your evidence. What you wanted since 2012 to date is shortened the name. It has been achieved.
Today it has worked because you hear everybody can easily pronounce it.
Wonderful, wonderful. So now, everyone now can pronounce it.
Yes.
But you are saying it is not you. You are talking about another force. Help court. You see, the moment you're in court, it is where court can help you. Who are these people who don't want to hear about it? You are saying that it is not me. Me, I've done my part, I changed it as the party president, as the chairman of the since 2012. But you're saying there's another person who don't want to hear about this. Help court. Who are these other people? We are going to list them.
I did mention that there are other people. I did say that there are other people who are interested or not.
You are saying it is not me. Who are these? Your evidence is that it is not me. Remember, the Onduko said it is not me. Me, I've done my part. It is now shorter name. It is appraised by the grassroots. It is not me. Who is this?
Because as you may understand what's going on currently,
No, I'm concentrating on this.
Try to bring in new people in the political grouping, which of course I was leading, and the new people, the new group which joined us, not so much interested. And we said, you can take on the administration. With us, we don't have a problem with it.
And for record, you are saying that the new group you are talking about is responding 3 up to 8. They are the new people you are talking about. That you agreed that they should take over.
I wish I saw that.
No, I can read. Number 3 is Chagoran Sentam Robert. Number 4 is David Lewis. Number 5 is Aisha Kavanda. Number 6 is Joel Senyonyi. Number 7 is Flavia Karere. And number 8 is Nyans Fred Sentam. You are saying that you agreed this one can take leadership.
Yeah.
That is your evidence.
They could take leadership positions, including the members that were in NURP and I, who were to be assigned the new duties.
Is your complaint that you were never assigned new duties? Is that your complaint before?
It's unfortunate I was not assigned any duties. I was sidelined.
You are sidelined.
But I didn't have...
Wait, what is recording? Wait, what is recording? So if you had not been sidelined, you wouldn't be here.
I don't see the circumstances, because the circumstances that bring me to be here
is because you are sidelined.
Very unexplainable. You can't explain the circumstances why I'm here. Me, all I did, I thought I was operating within a law. Then I brought in new people, even recruitment of new people in the party. The intention was to bring our party into limelight of real politics.
Yes.
And for me, whether given a portion of what to do or not, it didn't concern me at all. I knew the thing was moving positively. I knew guys who were there. I didn't have any bad feeling about it.
Where did the bad feeling come in later, after some time? What happened?
The bad feeling probably could be that all the people that I came with to join the other team, people who should be in rightful positions, were all sidelined and were not assigned duties. They are not invited for meetings. So that one, I left with those guys to fight it out.
Now,
but my people were also sidelined. I don't know why.
Can this one also mean that's why you had to go and consult another lawyer? Because when you had these complaints from your other colleagues you came in with, probably is it what prompted you? Because that's what I was asking.
Yes.
Is it what prompted you?
It's one of the issues.
One of the issues. So the reason the evidence changed is that when you consult and said my colleagues have not been considered, which is among the issues, it prompted you to have another evidence on record. Yeah. Did you say proud? What is referring? It prompted you to have another evidence because you're... Say it quote.
I can say it clearly, because when we brought in the party, we brought in a group of members, other administrators, managers. We didn't intend to be thrown out of the arrangement. So today we are out of the limelight, we are out of the activities, we are out of action. So
Yes,
that's the reason with us, me I took it right because I've been read that part first.
So, Mr. Chibalama, you are simply telling court that your actual grievance is that the people you came in with to join these other new leaders were sidelined. That is your actual grievance.
I wouldn't call it a grievance.
But that is your concern.
I could just call it a concern. But it's not a grievance of some sort.
And you are simply maybe suggesting that if this group plus you, if they assign other duties, you will have no problem. And you get back into the remnant probably.
No, even if I wouldn't be there,
Yes.
I as a person,
Yes.
but at the moment my team, NUP, was clearly integrated and given responsibility.
Yes.
Who would expect to have an harmonious kind of working arrangement?
So you are simply telling court that actually forget about falsified results, forget about what I'm saying, but if I get back, if my people I came with, if they can have duties and responsibilities, I have no problem. And that is what you want to put. That's what you're telling court.
Yeah, but nowadays the matter.
No, forget about the matter. Forget about the matter. Your grievance is that the people you came with, and I believe the people you came with include Simba Paul.
Yes.
So Simba Paul is also dissatisfied because of this. That is your evidence. He was also sidelined.
It's out of the arrangement.
He's out of the arrangement. And possibly that's why he's also aggrieved.
I wouldn't say he's aggrieved.
But it's not happy.
But probably it's not happy.
It's not happy.
Not aggrieved as such.
Okay.
Because this is
They have the same concern.
this is a political party, this is politics, this is whatever. So
Now, Mr. Kibalama, you've worked with several regimes and you know party changes membership. I want your wise advice because at your age you have seen a lot. Did you expect once you invite other members still hold on and have those interests and your members to be consulted?
definitely.
Is it definitely? Is it in the constitution that the moment we change leadership, I should always be consulted and my other members should be given duties and roles?
Well, it's naturally that
It's natural that.
when you are the outgoing leader of moving with some time, you need to be consulted, you need to give wisdom, advice, and so on. But when you are sidelined and you are nowhere to be seen in the hierarchy, probably to me, you leave it at that. But
I want to thank you very much for that. But one last question. You know there is a National Consultative Forum where all political parties
yes,
have that forum and they meet at the Electoral Commission.
yes, sir.
And you are still a representative of National Unity Platform as per the records.
What I know,
It
as per records at
At the Electoral Commission, you are still a representative of National Unity Platform. Forget about other things we're talking about.
and I'm the Secretary Budget and Finance Committee.
You are also on top of that, the Secretary of Finance and Budget Committee.
Yes, sir. I'm aware of that organ.
You are aware of that. And possibly, when you say we are sideline, these very party leaders and members nominated you as a registered political party that has effectively changed the name. Forget about what transpired. It is this party, the members, the National Unity Platform, you are representing in that National Electoral Commission or National Consultative Forum, where you are also a member. Where also a member.
Yes, sir. The fact is that when we change the party name,
When you change party name,
yes, when we change the party name, the membership or lifespan of the National Consultative Forum was still ongoing because we renew our membership every 5 years or every 4 years of parliament. Now, when we came to the National Unity Platform, I still retained that representation because time had not come to renew the membership.
And these party leaders, your party has not recalled you. There is no such a
The
thing.
party has not recalled me because there is no way they recall me.
No ways, they have not recalled. That's what I want.
Yes,
There's no letter that effect that you have been recalled from that
No, sir.
National Consultative Forum as a member of the National Unity Platform.
No, sir. I still remain representative.
But you still want more of the duties in the party and your people.
Of course, many reasons why I started that political party. Many reasons to serve this country, to serve our communities, and there is a lot to do.
Most of those are the questions I had for the
Well, my lord, I have a number for the gentleman. Mr. Kibalama, my name is Medard Segona Medard. I have questions for you. Confirm that at the age of 59, please don't communicate with those people. Communicate with court. Or you need your tablets. No, you apply to court to have your tablets. Do you also need water in addition to the tablets? You're just going to chew them. Please, my lord, through you, may the supplier of the gentleman's medicine supply the same before we get into another catastrophe. Receive your medicine? Thank you. At the age of 59, you are considered a man of advanced age in Uganda, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that age comes with a level of wisdom which you carry with you.
Yes, sir.
Good.
My lord, I sit in my doctor's seat. My class is saying he's sick and he didn't take his medication. And if I could give him some time so that he first takes the medicine.
I object. I object.
He told him, are you ready to proceed? Unless you're not paying attention. He asked him, are you ready to pay attention? And he said so.
My lord, you can say it out of fear.
So, but you can deceive them. Fear is what?
Exactly.
He's a police officer. He retired police officer.
I
Don't
object.
make it appear like now the fellow is this and he can tell us anything that he wants. Now when we begin throwing in a towel for him before
You're flashing my lord.
please let him do it. If you're not okay, please let us know. It's your help we're interested in first.
Before we leave the subject, my lord, and having followed you, I would very strongly apply at this forum that you write another book on professional ethics at the bar. As a celebrated person. But my lord, before you do that, I will continue with the cross-examination. And Mr. Kibalama, that the wisdom you carry at that age comes with a level of responsibilities to this country, correct?
I do think so.
You think so. And that you know what has caused turbulence in the political history and life of this country, correct?
Yes, sir.
Good. Where do you reside?
Currently,
Yes, currently.
I've been in Bali.
You've been in Bali. Do you have a residence in Bali?
Well, security, let's reserve it.
No, he has mentioned already.
Just leave it at that.
All right. For how long have you resided in Bali? I will not go to whether you intend to continue.
2 weeks now.
For 2 weeks. Good. And that you have been under the protection of security. True, false?
12.
Yes, no.
That's been under state protection.
You've been under state protection. He has answered.
My lord, I pray question is touching like land security don't be touched by the If the facility is by the that's an eighth caucus, I pray court prevail is over. And my class answer the question which are relevant to the affidavits. Right, my lord.
Most obliged, my lord. I do not intend to restate my earlier application.
Let's avoid the right objection. We shall spend the whole day here.
Thank you. My lord, I am very well guided and schooled in knowing how to protect witnesses. I am an officer of this court. So my colleague would rather best settle his intentions of interjections. So, Mr. Kibalama, did you apply for security?
I didn't apply for security.
You did not apply for security. Good. Let me take you to these affidavits of 14. No, the affidavit that where you signed. You said the third page, the one originally drafted by Lukwagan Company Advocates. This particular one of 14th September. Look at it. Did you say you saw it, you signed it at 8 p.m. and you are heading to Kayunga?
Yes, sir.
Okay, give it to me. So after signing this affidavit, did you proceed to Kayunga?
I did.
You did. Okay. And you signed it hurriedly, without adequate consultations.
Yes, sir, because I didn't read even the content of the affidavit.
Okay. So the second one, which was prepared by Barunji, Bayingana and Company Advocates, you had consulted, and this time you were settled. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where did you sign it from?
I signed it from my hotel.
From your hotel. Which hotel is this?
It's a very small place at Rubaga Road.
At Rubaga Road.
All the friends, that is where I was.
That's where you were. With who? Who was in attendance, sir?
There was Shingwa Paul Kabombe and
Okay.
and someone who delivered the papers.
Someone who delivered the
Who
papers.
sent us the papers?
Who sent you the papers? Was he working with Barunji and Company, with your lawyers?
No.
That is Barunji Bayingana.
No, sir.
Did you establish his or her name? Yes or no?
It was the name of Prosper.
Prosper. Okay.
He was a friend of mine. Sir.
He was a friend of yours. Is he a lawyer? Since he's your friend. Is he a lawyer?
He's not a lawyer.
He's not a lawyer. Is that all?
Yes.
That is all.
That's okay.
Okay.
He wrote my medicine. He wrote
Do you need time to swallow your medicine?
just a minute.
It's all right.
You ready, sir? So after going to Kayunga, on the day you saw the first affidavit, how many days did you spend in Kayunga?
2 days.
2 days. Presumably you came back on the 17th or 16th.
Somewhere there.
Somewhere around. Good. Mr. Moses Kibalama, please look at this affidavit. Lord, I'm showing him the affidavit in miscellaneous application 492 and 493 of 2020. Is that your signature, sir? You already owned it earlier.
Yes, sir.
When was it signed? Going by that date.
14th day of September 2020.
At what time did you sign it?
This was around 4 p.m.
Around 4 p.m. Please return it to me. It is my document. So, may I proceed now? After signing the first affidavit hurriedly, on 14th September 2020, at 8 p.m., you went to Kayunga, spent there 2 days, but on the same date, at 4 p.m., this time earlier than the original affidavit, you signed another affidavit before another lawyer. Does that propel your credit as an old man?
Well, it was a critical moment that, when I consulted, I was advised that you made a mistake by signing the first affidavit, and the lawyers actually warned me never ever sign any legal document which is without reading the body.
Incidentally, thank you for that information, but that's not my question. The question rotates on date and time. You signed an affidavit on 14th September at 8 p.m. Immediately after signing that hurriedly, you proceeded to Kayunga and returned after 2 days. But still on the same date at 4 p.m., presumably before you signed the affidavit drafted by Rupagan Company Advocates, you signed a retracting affidavit at your hotel on the same date, earlier than the original affidavit. Which is which?
My lord, there are those affidavits people are talking about, and the documents they are talking about are from Pago and company advocates. I don't know Pago and company advocates.
The ones you signed at night.
They were brought to me in a private place.
The question is asking you, but it's another document of the same date. It's referring you to another affidavit of the same date. The question was just around that. Not about which lawyer. You are the same person, because the other one you signed while going to Kayunga very late. Then you signed another one retracting. The other one where you are in a hurry on the same day.
My lord, the law firm that is being talked about has no relationship, nothing to do with that law firm. Therefore, when I was doing that, to retract the that is talking about, it's a surprise to me. Because
the question is not about lawyers, it's about the documents you signed. Now, if you signed one earlier, how would you have retracted? Later, you signed the other later. But now the one retracting is earlier. That's the question he's asking you. I hope I get it.
Yes, that's correct, my lord. The retracting one is signed 4 hours before the one being retracted.
That's the question. It's around the time.
My lord, I signed the documents without knowing the content, without knowing without even having the part of land.
Forget the content. When did you sign? You see, it's pushing you towards one of the two must be a lie. You are either telling a lie on the other one, or you are telling a lie on this one.
Or a lie in court.
Where is the truth? That's what it's trying to establish. If you are saying I signed at 8, how come you signed this one at 4? It cannot be that at 8 you are signing, and then at 4 you had already signed something. So one of the two there must be a lie somewhere. So between the two, where is the lie? That's the question he's asking me.
All I remember is signing the third page of a document which is now being called an affidavit.
Yes, at 8.
Without me reading the rule.
Don't get about reading. It's about now the document.
Yes.
One document is at 8. This one is at 8. And this one is at 4.
Now,
Put your question, please.
Mr. Kibalama, Central Kibalama Nkonge, you're aged 59. You have a diploma in business administration. You have been a senior police officer, very highly trained at the expense of this country. Okay? You signed an affidavit. Okay. You signed this. Did you say the third page? They gave you the third page. My lord, I would invite you to look at the affidavit, the original affidavit, where he signed the third page. Drafted by Wagon Company and Wameli and Company. Now, since he recognizes Wameli and Company, and Wameli is here. Look, this is page 1, page 2, and this is page 3. First, would you show your signature on that page 3?
I don't see my signature.
Did you sign page 3?
I signed the last page.
Which
of that affidavit.
you have been categorical, page 3.
I signed the last page of that affidavit.
Good. Now let's go back to the question. You signed it at 8 p.m.
Yes, sir.
And you had been called hurriedly, correct?
Yes, sir.
Who called you?
I had the private arrangements with my colleagues and friends.
Which colleague?
Because
Which colleague called you, sir?
there's a gentleman in Kanyonga district with whom we had
The person who called you to come and sign this document is called who?
the person who called me to sign these documents was called Louis Ibongwaya.
Good. He's the one you've been referring to as your colleague, correct?
Yes, because he's a colleague within the political party.
He's your colleague in your party.
Yes,
Okay, good. So you sign at 8.
yes, sir.
But then there is the retracting affidavit, which you had signed at 4 p.m. before you signed this last page. How do you explain the timing? And from signing this particular last page, you rushed to Kayunga for 2 days.
Me, I was not so particular about the dates or timing of these two affidavits.
You have been particular. It came from you.
I was not so particular on that particular document.
On the timing.
That I signed.
Okay.
What I remember is that by around 8 p.m., I was approached by a group of lawyers at Bukoto.
Very good.
At Bukoto, they gave me a document to sign, but the document only contained the last.
That is understood, sir.
The last what? Without reading it.
Mr. Kibalama.
Now I left the responsibility with the Master Secretary General.
Mr. Kibalama, do not be a paper tiger. A paper tiger receives a question and answers his own. Now answer mine. Okay, 8 p.m. Was it dark? 8 p.m. Was it dark?
It was dark.
Good. And you proceeded to Kayunga. And you returned after 2 days. Let's go back to the one of 4 p.m. Was it dark also?
4 p.m. it was daytime.
It was daytime. At a location in Mengo, at your hotel? Bubaga, at your hotel. Now, did you read this affidavit? which was prepared by Barungi, Bayingana and Company Advocates. Did you read through? Good. And it was retracting what was in the original one. By this time, did you know what the contents of the original one, which you signed after Lewis Wongoya called you? Did you know the contents, sir?
I didn't know the content because I didn't read it. That's what I'm told.
But you were still retracting the contents.
I just signed the last page of that.
Do you know where this affidavit of Barungi and Bayingana was drafted from?
I don't know.
Were you there when they were drafting it?
No, when they just wrote when it was
Or prepared?
prepared with the facts that I happened to read it through before
And you confirmed them?
Yeah.
Well, my lord, for the good of court and time, I will leave the question for now on this. May I say that you are a horrendous liar? Would I be right to say you're a liar? Or somewhere you have lied?
You'd be wrong.
I would be wrong. Have you ever told a lie anywhere?
Not in my life.
Not in your life. So even when you were retracting contents of an affidavit you did not know, you were not telling a lie.
How was it?
Even when you were signing an affidavit, retracting another which you had not signed, you were not telling a lie. Now, let me just help you to know part of the law. Under section 94(1), as a police officer of the Penal Code, when you tell a lie on oath, you commit an offense called perjury. And you are liable on conviction for a term not exceeding 2 years in prison. Does that help you to apologize to court?
Are those threats or what?
Sorry?
Are those threats?
No, it's the information. Since you may not, you said you sometimes you forget the law. It's not a threat. Now, do you wish to apologize to court for any lie?
No need, because I haven't told any lie here.
Good. Under the Political Parties and Organizations Act, which you referred to gladly, particularly section 15(3), any political party or organization or any person which or who B furnishes information knowing it to be false in any material particular commits an offense and is liable on conviction for a period not exceeding 200 currency points or imprisonment not exceeding 2 years or both. You have confirmed on oath during cross-examination earlier that you submitted false returns knowingly. What do you have to say about the offense you committed?
Well, by the time we worked out these papers and minutes and resolutions and whatnot, it wasn't clear to us. We didn't intend it. We didn't know we were bound to commit an offense. But we were fulfilling. We were fulfilling.
Some people not clear.
Yeah, we were fulfilling our statutory.
But you have been the hold of this position, is it how many years? 16. You have an obligation towards filing returns. And you are not aware that when you file false returns, they attract a sanction. Let's not introduce this quoting.
My lord, all documents,
because you have hold of that position for 16 years. You must know this act in and out. Consequences, penalties, sanctions. So you are saying you are not aware that by making falsehoods, because you said you made false returns.
My lord.
It's an offense?
My lord.
A former police officer?
My lord.
You see, sometimes what I don't want is you to go out celebrating that I put up a spirited fight in saying things which were not relevant. Because you're a senior person, and that's why he's insisting on that. You see, we don't want to set a bad precedent that someone can get to court and say whatever he wants to say. He says, me, I don't remember that. Me, I don't know these things. If I was committing an offense, I'm not aware whether I was committing an offense. It entirely police officer. Now, what will the ordinary person in our village say who has been conscripted in the party?
My lord, politics in practice is far different in acts and actions.
But you're committing an offense. And you're supposed to be a leader. If your party goes through
what could have,
and you become a prime minister or vice president.
my lord, what could have prompted that kind of thing is that we had negotiated a team, another political team on the other side, and they were supposed to facilitate us with the little money that would be given out to delegates in the form of lunch, tea break, and the others, and then we were supposed to pay them a transportation fund. But by the time we reached on that big day of the project, of that meeting, various conference, our friends from the other party did not honor their promises. Now,
That pushed you to forge.
that pushed us to see.
We rather commit offenses, but we have to get it through.
No, because we had already notified the electoral commission, they are not said the other documents.
No.
Now, what we did was to sit forward and make minutes of that particular meeting. We knew what the content of the minutes would be. We knew what our intention we intended with that particular meeting. So we wrote minutes. Not really that we were committing an offense, but we are bridging a gap.
But the law allows you to appraise the gap.
I think actually, my lord, the question is, was he submitting returns that he knew to be false? Simple as that. Whether he knew the law is a different matter. As you submitted these returns, did you know they were false?
There's no.
Did you know they were false
I
or not?
didn't know. I didn't know because when we presented the documents to the electoral commission,
Okay.
they honored them. They accepted them.
Okay.
So
So they believe, was the electoral commission wrong in believing you? A person who had run a political party for 16 years.
they were not wrong.
They were not wrong in believing you. Good. Do you also agree with me that when a political party is registered, it is a public entity? Yes or no?
And the public good.
And a public good. Good. You were on camera saying that you were promised $5 million before you left the party leadership. Is that correct?
Why was this, sir?
No, I'm asking, is that correct? You were promised $5 million or not?
I'm not aware of that.
You're not aware. That's okay, that's the answer I want. Is it also true that you were selling this political party?
No, sir.
You were not selling.
Political parties are never sold.
I never saw.
And there is no supermarket in Kampala that can identify that a political party can be sold.
That's all right. That's correct.
In any case, you may want to ask from those colleagues over what whether they bought a political party.
Okay, I will not cross-examine them. I'm cross-examining. Now, first, if we look at the affidavit, this one, the one sworn on 14th September 2020 at 4 p.m. You state that there were 41 persons who attended the delegates conference. That's in paragraph 7. My lord, the one in the miscellaneous application. You say we were 41 people or delegates conference to elect the new office bearers. We were 41 people who participated and elected the new office bearers unopposed. Is that true? You can read for yourself since you are literate. Please read paragraph 7. And loud.
in preparation for the 2021 elections in July 2020, we held another meeting at the official Gardens Hotel, Kaki, where we chose new office bearers for the NUP party. And I, Vice Secretary General for the Silver Kagombe, handed over office to the new executive. Once again, due to financial constraints and the ban on political meetings under the COVID-19 regulations, we could not convene a delegates conference to elect new office bearers. We were about 41 people who participated and elected the new office bearers unopposed, without proper delegates conference.
Give it to me.
Let me finish the part.
Oh, please, go ahead.
We did all this in good faith and for the good of the party, intended to keep the party alive.
Give it to me. This is the affidavit which was prepared by your lawyers, Barungi and who? Bayingana. And that was 14th September 2020. Now look at this one of 17th September 2020. Is that your affidavit also? Look at the last page which has a signature, looking like yours. Is that your affidavit? Is that your signature, sir?
Yes, sir.
Good. Dated when?
Dated 17th day of September 2020.
Where did you sign it from?
I think this is the one.
Where did you sign it from? Gaga Road. At what time? Around 4 p.m. Good. Let me show you the paragraph I want you to read for court. You are literate. Read paragraph 7b, which I have underlined for you.
The resolution and minutes of the extraordinary ladies conference at Kaki on 14th July 2020 are not true as such meeting did not take place. We sat as only 9 people and decided to rubber stamp the 3rd to 9th respondents as the new office bearers.
Okay.
After which we collected signatures, rubber stamped the decision, and even created assignments for the resolutions.
Thank you. From 41 to 9, which of the 2 statements is correct? Which of the 2 is correct? At least these affidavits are not drafted by Rukwagan Company. Different lawyers. So, are they both your lawyers?
No.
So, is Bayingana, Birungi, and Company Advocates, are they your lawyers?
That's my advocate.
Answer the question. It's a simple. He's mentioning names, not personalities.
I don't know the company within which my lawyer works for. My own.
This is
I don't know company names.
when you try to look like a surplus and
No, sir.
I say, I don't know this one, it's this one, and you make it look so
Honestly, you
bad.
can clear that for me.
Because it's referring to 2 documents filed by 2 lawyers who came. Because that time, I think when the first lawyer came, the issue arose. as to whether it was Wamedi and others, and then it was it? But there was a lawyer who was on record here. Then the issue arose as to whether he was representing him.
My lord, actually, is the lawyer who presented that affidavit that we are referring to.
Exactly. So, where?
Tell court, who is your lawyer? What, by name? What is the name of your lawyer? No. Through the microphone.
My lawyer is seated on your right-hand side, the fourth.
He is called who?
Yes, sir.
He is called who? Do you know his name or you don't? You call him ebyama.
I don't recall his name.
How did you get to know him?
Through a friend of mine.
Which friend?
So called Prosper.
The friend called Prosper, the one who introduced you.
Yes.
When was your first time meeting him?
Just within that week.
Which week?
Last week.
Last week. You met him last week. Did he come to Mbale? Please answer.
You mentioned about Kumbali.
Yes, I'm asking. Did he come to Mbale? That's where you met him from.
I met him in Kampala for the first time.
When?
I won't remember the particular day.
But you said it's last week.
It was last week. Could be Tuesday.
Okay.
Monday.
So when you met last week, what did you sign any documents before with him?
No, I didn't sign any.
You did not sign any documents. Okay, so I will now take you. I won't bother you so much, but answer the question. 41 people, 9 people in 2 different affidavits. Which one is correct?
I think the affidavit is
The time is 12 o'clock.
the affidavit is containing.
The one of 41 is the correct one.
The one of 9.
Say his name.
The one of 9. Okay. I will show you some document here. Please look at this document.
What's the document?
My lord, I'm going to introduce it after your prayer. Does that document bear your signature?
It does.
It does. And what is the second signature on the document?
That's Brother Giorgio Dolce.
Brother Giorgio Dolce. Did you sign it as president of that party then?
Yes, sir.
And Odoki as what?
Secretary.
Now please read it for court to know which document it is.
That's at already the
Please read.
already the main body.
Yes.
At second meeting of the Party National Executive Committee, duly held at College Inn Hotel, Wanegala, on the 3rd November 2005, it was resolved that the quorum of an extraordinary delegates conference be set at 40 delegates, which is the same quorum as that of the ordinary delegates conference. By order of the National Executive Committee, signed by all the members, President, Secretary.
Okay. Where is the origin of that document? Do you have it?
I wouldn't remember where this document is.
Okay.
But all I can assure you is that
It is your
this
document.
record is at the Commission.
Okay.
Because while we keep one copy of the document, the rest remains on file.
But that is your document.
Yes, I do.
Please return it. So the National Executive Committee of your party then, which sat at its second meeting on 3rd November 2005, resolved that the quorum for extraordinary general meeting, delegates conference, be set at 40. Good. Do you know the number of delegates you have in this party?
The number of delegates,
Yeah.
we have more than 300 members.
Good. Since 2005, did you ever convene a meeting of the delegates conference?
I think we've never done that.
You did. Did you place this before the delegates conference? This.
Yeah, but you,
Did you know?
council,
Did you or you did not?
I know.
My Lord, I am applying to tender this document owned by the witness through him as part of our evidence. And the reason I'm tendering the photocopy is because we are not in possession of the original. The witness is, and he has fully owned the contents thereof. We pray that the same be received and that we be allowed later to make copies for the entire back. When you were founding this political party, was it your intention that you wanted to capture power through this party, through an election?
That's the purpose of all political parties.
I am asking about yours.
Yes.
Is it still your vision?
Still my vision.
Are you still a member of the first respondent, the National Unity Platform, with whom you were sued?
I'm still a member. but
You're a
I'm
member.
self-described.
I don't want the reason. I've taken your answer at face value this time. Who is your party president?
As of when?
As we speak.
Currently, the party is being led by its friend.
Robert Seto. Okay. Sir, are you also aware, or no, is it also true that in this political party, you are the head of the Elders and Advisory Committee?
No, I'm not aware.
You are not aware. But you said it at a press conference. Do you want to look at the video? Did you say it at a press conference?
Can you remind me of that?
Yes, you said it at a press conference. That you gave the party to young people to lead it, and that you were leading the elders in the party. Do you now remember? Do you trust your memory?
I trust my memory. It's not anywhere in the written form that I'm the reader or whatever representative.
Is it somewhere in an unwritten form?
No.
Have you ever sat at a press conference with Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu
Where?
in Kampala here?
Yeah, I remember one time at Kamuch.
At Kamoch? What did you state at that press conference? Okay.
Did I state in regard to what?
In regard to these people, Basile Defas and Tuala Hassan.
Yeah, I tried to inform
Yes.
whoever was interested
Yes.
here that I knew Gifas as a young man, and Kwara, both being relatives of my close friend, Kano Juma Seiko. Because I was so close to Kano Juma Seiko,
Yes.
he could come and reside at my Uwambo residence, and in most cases I would also come to reside in Kampala. So if I don't have transport to go home, just go and sleep at my house, and that's what it.
So you knew Basile Diffas and Twala Hassan as relatives of your friend Kano Juma Seiko?
Yes.
Okay. Now, are they members of this party?
That's where the snag is, because
Yes.
local practice.
Yes.
Delegated these two boys to come at this farewell hotel
Yes.
in 2005 to represent
Represent who?
the party at a political meeting that was taking place between government of Uganda and the political forces that were meeting at the farewell hotel here.
Okay.
So that's the very first time that these people come on, within a party and to carry out activities of the party. And since then, we didn't.
Never saw them again.
Whenever I go to Juba Seko's house, and this boy was at Makerere University, John Makerere, he never had the time for the party and things like that, for political issues. So he remained there. He knows me, I know him. But it was such a friendly kind of basis. Basile is the one who used to cater for me when I'm at the residence
Of Juma Seiko.
of Juma Seiko, because they cook the food for you, they do this kind of stuff. So I chose him and said, you will go to represent us in this capacity. And did in 2005, Basile and his uncle, former ambassador of Uganda to Russia, Mr. Sam Sakadia, who passed on, represented us at the farewell hotel meeting. Not as because if you say whether it's a member of the party
They are not aware.
or not,
Okay. This case was filed on 24th August 2020. Have you since then had a discussion with Kano Juma Seiko?
on phone.
Was it on phone? Okay. Did you discuss the case filed by his relatives against you?
Well, my concern to him as a friend
Yes.
is that, Juma, why should you have done that for our relatives without necessarily first informing me or meeting over and discussing issues and we agree? That was just concern.
What was his response?
The other issues that he mentioned to me.
What did he say? You are now in court, just to remind you.
Well, he said he did not know the reason why the boys were behaving in such a manner. That's what he said. I don't know why those boys behaved in such a manner, because even I, as their uncle, I was never informed at all.
You have never met him since then?
I've never met him myself.
Okay. When you were being cross-examined by Mr. Eric Sabiti, you mentioned the circumstances which led you to where you are. One of them was being sidelined by the new leadership of the party. What? Sorry, you're shaking your head in disapproval?
Yes, indeed. When I'm certified or certified
Yes.
about this office, holding certain office or the other, not my concern here.
You
It
said-
doesn't go down with me my own feelings that I'm aggrieved because I don't have a position.
Yes, you said that's one of the reasons, but then what could be the other reasons or the circumstances that could have led you into this?
Mr. Segona,
Yes.
I don't understand the circumstances I talked to about being here.
Yes.
Is that you are fully aware that I was disconnected with public affairs in normal life about 2 weeks ago. I hear my house is being secured by organizations that I don't understand. So from that moment up to today, I'm here because of those circumstances that I can't explain. Now I don't know those circumstances that cannot be explained by me. And that's why I'm here. Under very unclear circumstances. Although I've come now to understand it's a court case, and I'm here to answer for and on behalf of the court.
Who informed you that you were required to come to court today?
Someone smuggled court. Someone smuggled the newspaper in a place where I was. And said, you're going to court. Look at this. I looked at the newspaper. And yes, it is true that
You were required.
that's the time I understood I was required here. That's it. I didn't have any control over myself.
Who had control over yourself?
I don't know, because I don't know.
You don't know. You were also filmed saying that the leadership of the National Unity Platform reached their agreement with you. Were you expressing your mind freely, or you had some other form of circumstances that you cannot explain?
I request for your protection. He's asking me whether that leave was under US or whatever means you want to go into this.
So the challenge is if you had not sworn into a electoral and maybe appeared for cross-examination, there have been a civil way to come here and testify and these are the circumstances. But sometimes when you invite yourself into throwing different documents now, Mr. Segona, you
Well,
could rephrase the question.
Yes, my lord, I'm making as much restraint as possible professionally, but this is a witness who is before you. And if he needs your protection, he will have to state it. May I ask you, therefore, is there any way you would like court to assist you out of the circumstances where you are?
Well, at the moment,
Yes.
I wouldn't say such a thing because even here where we are,
Yes.
there's a degree of protection, which is not of my own,
Yes.
but I hope at the end of this cross-examination, things may change for the better.
You hope things may change for the better?
I hope.
Okay. Well, I can perfectly understand the agony of an old man shedding tears in circumstances of this nature. You will forgive me, but I will ask some questions very politely and ask you to compose yourself as you answer them. You've had a meeting with the Director General of the Internal Security Organization. Was that your free will in that meeting?
haven't met the director of internal security organization. Haven't met him before.
Before. So you've never met him up to now?
No.
And the CDF?
I met the CDF.
When?
You know,
Yes. When was this meeting?
was also another Sunday.
Yes.
Was running from Kayunga.
Yes.
Because our veterans being monitored.
Okay.
So you get your telephone and say, well, we see where you are, and we need you here. We need you to answer few questions here. So since we are not criminals of any nature,
Yes.
we thought we would go there and explain ourselves.
Yes.
So I went in. It was a cordial kind of chat,
Yes.
but we were about 4 or 5 questions, which one needed to answer. Gave the answer. Eventually told us that you are free, go to your home. That's all it was.
And you went.
Yes.
And the discussion was about National Unity Platform, confirmed.
It was about national unity.
Was it about treason? Nothing like treason. But you're discussing about the change of leadership and name of the party. Was security concerned that this could be illegal?
That what could be legal.
That the change of name and leadership could be illegal?
No, I didn't have such a concern.
No, from their perspective as security of the country.
Just wonder, you know, something comes as a surprise.
Indeed.
And you say, oh, so by making internal changes
would be, security would be
questioning.
Yes.
At a higher level.
Yes. Who else attended that meeting apart from the CDF?
My Lord, I request that don't answer that question. Give another question.
I can drop it, and I understand the circumstances. Have you since met the President of the Republic?
Never.
You have not met. So when you left the CDF's office, you proceeded home, right?
I went home.
You went home. Until when?
I think I met the CDF on Sunday.
Yes.
But, Tuesday.
Yes.
As I was driving from home.
Yes.
That's when I was stopped by some individuals in civilian courts asking me issues, which issues are very well explained.
The issues related to this part again.
It's the relationship party.
Yes.
It wasn't much. They didn't do anything wrong then.
Yes.
They said, can we see you by 4 p.m.? I said, fine.
Yes.
At 4 p.m.,
yes.
at this time, this is where I am.
Up to this time, this is where you are. Okay, was this before or after you had signed these 2 affidavits that I have shown you?
Before.
That was.
Listen.
That was before you signed the affidavits.
No, wait. I had signed the affidavit with my lawyers.
Okay.
I signed the affidavit with my lawyers. There was no duress, there was no nothing wrong. So, the issue of affidavits clearly, I wouldn't say.
Did you used to issue political party membership cards in your party
In which period?
before you handed over office?
Our party never issued
Party cards.
membership card because of reasons. We are a young political party with no funding from anywhere. Now, if you bring in people by way of giving cards, these people will turn around maybe a year or two. So, and put false claims of such. So we are willing to issue party cards.
You have answered my question. Would you look at this supplementary affidavit of yours and in particular read paragraph 9?
I swear this affidavit, we supplement my second affidavit drawn by Barungi Payingana and company advocates, the contents of which speak the truth as I stand, and I stand by.
Which means, therefore, you had also instructed Bayingana and Bayingana Barungi and company advocates. That's why you were supplementing their affidavit. Okay. Now, would you want? Let me find another way of phrasing it. Would you want this court to help you in regaining your freedom? This court is powerful enough to do that.
I wish.
You wish the court could help you regain your freedom. First, Mr. Kibalama, as a lawyer for the last 18 years, sometimes we are misunderstood. Please understand my questions in good faith, as you did say. We talked about good faith. Would you want your family to visit you where you are?
Well, it's very fortunate that my family is not in Uganda. I could have visited you. Be around.
You would have wanted them. At some point, you, because you're still in those hands, I will not answer this question. I will not. You will forgive me.
If you're done,
No, I am not done. I was asking a question that I consider personal, but again for the security
now we're going to limit the time.
of the
We are
gentleman.
not going to have Mr. Kibalama here for the volunteer and
Yes, true, my lord. Where with that, my lord, I will rest my case. I express sympathy to you, and I wish you luck in regaining your freedom.
Please, avoid your drama, please.
So, Mr. Kibalama, I'm ready to make clarify something which I have stated when you are being cross-examined. The first one, you are saying you need to put
Someone who is transcribing should know that it's another way.
in the end of my lord, also for the second and then respondents. So, Mr. Kibalama, you have asked me the last question, and you have stated that you wish for toilet will get your freedom. Which freedom? Do you want to go to toilet will get? And who has taken it away from you? Just feel free to ask.
Well, it's in the public domain, and then the newspapers everywhere, that some of my colleagues and friends have been honestly looking for me on many occasions, and they failed to find me until some organ had to clarify that we have it.
Listen now. Those colleagues you are referring to, who you are saying have been hurting for you, are you referring to Shagurani Centum, third respondent, David Lewis, Aisha Kavanda, Joel Sinyoni, and those others who we are still together with you? Are they the ones you are referring to?
Not at all.
Then which colleagues are you referring to? I would have worked in clarify this.
For them, they were free to throw any type of question. When you also begin now getting into certain things you are not comfortable disclosing. Now you are opening.
Now, you've just stated that one Center Muchakurani is the current new president. So, would you briefly tell me when was he voted in office as the president for the party?
Well, I understand he was voted 17th of June. When in a delegate conference at Kachini.
Of which year? In which year was it?
This year.
This year?
Yes.
Do you know the who participated in his election?
Objection, my lord, it never rose.
Then you said that you have talked to your colleagues, mobilize facilitation. Mobilize facilitation for a meeting.
Yes.
Which meeting were you referring to?
Meeting of 18, the hotel triangle meeting.
You are saying which week?
The hotel triangle meeting. That's where we require the funds to facilitate the delegacy.
Now, what was the purpose for that intended meeting you talked about?
The main purpose of the intended meeting was to have the party name changed from NUP to NUP. That was the purpose, sole purpose.
Now, whom had you said would facilitate that meeting? Briefly tell court.
That particular meeting would be facilitated
by who?
By, I would say by Chahulani, but I would say by that grouping of people. Because the main interest of that meeting was to have that name there, so that the name could be fit in our activities. So they had to finance it, which they didn't do.
So going to where you are from, what happened? You want to reopen the whole meeting? Mr. Kibalama, you're discharged. Can we get the other one?
Kagombe simu.
Same. Please, I'm going to begin the time. I think we cannot be here.
It's going to be a very short one, my lord.
Please, let it be.
The new lawyers prepared evidence and gave it to Seth.
Yes.
So you found it prepared?
No.
After consultation?
No. I didn't find it prepared because this is what I spoke to them.
Now, when you consulted, you decided to concede to the application. What were you conceding? Because that's what you said in paragraph 3 of the affidavit of Ahewa James and Barunji. You said after consulting, you decided to concede to the application. What motivated you into conceding?
What motivated me into conceding was the truth that I had to speak out.
What was this truth that you want God to listen to? And what was the lie?
Having been in that position as Deputy Secretary General and Interim Secretary General of the National Unity and Reconciliation and Development Party, I was reached out by the then party president, that is Mr. Nkonge Kibalama, and he told me there was a concern by Honorable Nabotola, who is also called Bobi Wine, to have a venture with us. I don't know the numerous meetings we had, but he told me we had to have a meeting. So we went to Magere and had a meeting with him. That meeting was Council Luis, Chairman Nyanzi, myself, and Mr. Kibalama. So in that meeting, we all came up and agreed because there was an interest of working with us, and this party was so long, National Unity, Reconciliation and Development Party. It was him who actually came up with an idea that we shorten the name to National Unity Platform.
Yes.
And we all agreed after that meeting in Magere. Then we proceeded, and the then party president made a budget, of course, through consultation with other members, and the budget was drawn and presented to the people who said they were going to fund the process of calling for a delegates conference and going about with whatever that was supposed to be gone about to change the party name.
Yes.
We proceeded and waited after presenting the budget. We waited and waited because in this process we had to notify Electoral Commission of our intentions to change the party name, which they obliged to, and they gave us a go-ahead to change. So as this date drew closer, I asked him about where the funding was going to come from. I never heard from the other party though, till the time when it was really the D-Day to have the delegates conference. So we didn't have anything to run about to...
Everything you mean money to facilitate the process?
Of course, we needed to have resources to put up, like hire a hotel, invite guests and the rest of it. How do you feed guests, that kind of things. So that's why the budget was drawn. However, the budget was not funded, and when that day came, which we had notified the Electoral Commission, we asked ourselves what we were going to do. So we sat down.
You and who?
It was me, Mr. President, the then President Nkonge.
Yes.
And we agreed that we don't let this chance go like that.
And the chance was transiting the party from?
From National Unity, Reconciliation and Development Party to NUP.
So at that point you still had the intention to change the name?
Of course, when this was suggested, we all...
the chance you are talking about.
Pardon?
the chance you don't want, that you never wanted to let go, was your chance to change
the party name.
Then fine, it is changed. Let's forget about
the party name was changed, and we of course we know the integrity that was required by the Electoral Commission, that is the resolutions, the minutes and everything. So we arranged this and presented them. That is why.
So to you, what was required was submitted.
Yes.
For the change of the party name.
Yes.
And that is the evidence you gave while you were at Rukwago. That what was required to change the party name was done.
This is the evidence
that you gave while at Rukwago's law firm, that what was required to change the party name.
Issue here, we are mixing.
No, forget about the issue.
Yes.
Forget about the issue. My question is very simple. At that point, when you are taking this point, you are giving a proper account of what transpired for you to be able to change the name. That's what happened. Forget about the budget. That's what you stated in the affidavit of Rukwago. Can I read it to you?
Yeah, you have read that, and I think I've told you I signed a second affidavit.
Wait, forget about the second affidavit. At that point, you are giving the proper account of what transpired.
Yes.
Now, when you did the second affidavit and when you are conceding, what was your issue here? What really made you backtrack? And now the issue is about the budget.
What I've told,
we are using it as
what I've told this honorable court is that we went through this process, okay?
Yes.
And we changed the name. Not going through.
No, I didn't ask that. In anticipation that you'll be facilitated. Well, that's why there was a budget.
No. We are mixing two things here. I don't want us to draw so close to the issue of the budget because it is what could have necessitated the process to be right as it were supposed to be done. However, in the absence of that, we just sat down and made these minutes which we presented to the Electoral Commission, and the Electoral Commission granted a change of the name. This is what I mean to say here.
Do you have a problem with that? That you presented records and based on that Electoral Commission changed?
This is why I had to change from my first statement that I made and thought after consultation.
So when did you get to know that actually what you did was wrong? Is it between 14th when you saw an affidavit in Kwago's farm and when you saw another affidavit, that is the time? You are motivated by what? Well, that process, the change of name has been done, you had been elected to a new position. Yes. What was the issue in between? The old lawyers and the new lawyers?
The issue here is, what
no, not the issue. Me, I want what changed you to transit from that position, earlier position.
You have mentioned something of having come to the new leadership.
Yes.
Okay? We agreed on how we are going to be running in the new leadership.
Yes.
However, things still didn't work the way we agreed.
So the issue is that in the new leadership, what you agreed was not, they never lived up to the promise. That's why you changed?
It is so.
That's why you changed it?
Yes.
The issue is not that you really changed your affidavit because you had submitted false declaration. The issue is about they did not follow their principles or their memorandum support you, whatever you had.
It's like you
are telling court that what you had agreed with the old leadership.
I will stand to speak what I have to speak.
Yes.
Nothing but
proceed as you report.
I've told you, I changed my mind because we were 9 people who were on to the shoot.
Yes.
And I was made to sign through Rukwago and company advocates when I had not even seen the lawyers of Rukwago and company. We didn't sit down. We didn't sit down to agree on to this. I was just called. They read me the affidavit and I signed. So I did that. I read it through, but it was hurriedly.
Don't make us look fools. You said, he cross-examined and said, did you read through? You said yes. Now you are saying they read through. They read for me.
Your worship, I read through the affidavit.
So don't be changing statements.
I read
You
through
read through the affidavit and you signed.
and I signed.
I want to bring you back to where we had reached.
Yes.
You had told this honorable court that when you had that understanding at Magere, when you transit to a new national unity platform, you were supposed to have run the party in a different mode or manner, which was not done. Is that your evidence?
It stems back from what we did.
No. Is that your evidence? That you had an understanding that the moment we change the party name, I'm going to retain this position, or we are supposed to run in this manner.
That is not mentioned anywhere in my affidavit.
Now, Mr. Simba Paul Gomez. You later proceeded and did another affidavit with another lawyer in a space of 4 days. One with Bengana and another one with this one. And in all these activities, you said you considered the application. What were you conceding to? Because the application said that what we did in changing the party name was wrong. Is this the very fact that you are conceding to? Or there was change of mind after the sign after? What were you conceding to?
I was conceding to the fact that the party name was changed, not following.
Sorry?
I was
What leads to?
conceding to the fact that all that was done during the process of changing the party name wasn't done in accordance with what our party constitution says.
So you, and this is basically the minutes or the information you gave to the Electoral Commission.
Exactly.
So what did you do wrong that you want this honorable court to know in that very process? And with who?
It was giving false information to the Electoral Commission.
Who was giving the false information? You, the secretary?
Together with the party president.
Who else?
And 2 other members of the executive.
Now, at that point, were you aware that what we are doing was criminal?
Can I know the 2 other members?
The other 2 members, you said that when you were trying to craft.
These 2 other members were Winston Chigozi and William Odinga.
Positions?
Winston Chigozi was then party treasurer, and then Odinga was in charge of mobilization and publicity.
So you, the false declarations being what? The resolutions?
I don't know
what were these false declarations of the Electoral Commission?
These were the resolutions that were made, the minutes that were filed, and the attendance list of people who didn't actually attend the meeting.
So it is your evidence that all those were falsified.
Yes.
They were forged.
They were forged.
And you participated in the forgery?
I did participate.
You said you are an engineer?
Yes.
I believe with a bachelor's at that point. So So you participated in forgery, and that is the evidence to court.
It is necessary to speak the truth. This is what happened.
Now, at that point, was the electoral commission aware that what you were submitting was forged?
The electoral commission wasn't aware.
So what you submitted, at the face of it, one will not even detect that it was a forged attendance list.
Unless if looked at critically by handwriting experts.
But if with no handwriting, you couldn't tell that it is a forged attendance.
I believe this is why the electoral commission accepted it.
Have you ever written to electoral commission since that time? When you discovered, when you became born again? Instead of coming to court, you say, no, electoral commission, I'm very sorry, I was part of this scam.
Your worship, no.
No further question, my lord.
Mr. Simba Paul Kagombe, how old are you?
I'm 39 years old.
You were saying you're an engineer. Do you have a bachelor's degree? And from where? When?
It is from Chambogo.
When?
That was in 2002.
2002.
It's a degree.
Is it a degree?
It's a diploma. It's not a bachelor's.
An engineer must possess a degree. Do you agree?
I do agree with you.
You agree with me? So for starters, do not lie to court that you're an engineer.
All right.
Good. Number 2, where do you reside?
I reside at Komamboga.
Komamboga Kawembe.
Kanyanya. Sorry.
Did you come from Komamboga this morning to come to court? Yes or no?
I did come from Komamboga this morning as I was coming to court.
Okay. For the last 2 weeks, have you been with Mr. Kibalama? Have you been staying with Mr. Kibalama somewhere other than home?
Yes.
And that's Zimbabwe.
Yes.
Under state protection. Yes?
I couldn't really tell this, whether it was under state protection.
Did you drive your car to Mbale? Or you were taken there by somebody? And please do not create stories which are false,
No,
because the court
create
already has
stories.
evidence.
I can't create stories.
Did you drive yourself to Mbale? Or you were taken by somebody?
We were taken by someone.
By somebody. And that is security. The security of this country. No, don't ask him. He put his story. Put yours.
I couldn't tell because how could I have known this is security and this is not security when there are no guns involved in this?
Did you apply to them to take you to Mbale?
I just went with him. I didn't apply from anybody to take me.
Okay. You did not apply. And your family has since been looking for you. Are you aware? Are you aware, sir?
Does he have no?
Sorry?
Does he have to come with you first?
I have,
Because you may be throwing it in.
Thank you, my lord. He's answering.
I have a family. I'm married with 3 children.
Okay.
And my wife is pretty aware of where I have been, and she has not logged in any complaint whatsoever that she's looking for me.
But she's not looking for you.
I mean, she's at home, and all along she has not told me somebody has gone home looking for me, and she has never asked me that she's looking for me.
For those last 2 weeks, have you been working?
For the last 2 weeks,
Yes.
Yes.
Where have you been working for?
I told you I have a company that works, telecom builds, and I employ people. So it doesn't necessarily mean being physical.
Have you reported, have you been to your office for those 2 weeks?
I've not been at the office, but I've been able to communicate to the people who are doing my work.
Okay. On 14th September 2020, you did swear 2 affidavits. No, just I'm not very sure. Sorry, I retract, and I'll ask you the question first of all. I want you to look at this particular affidavit, which you said you signed Harry. This affidavit, the one in the van. That one. At what time did you swear it? You see that?
Yeah, you see it.
At what time did you sign it?
You mean signing?
The one of Lukwago and Company.
Signing or swearing?
Signing.
It was around. It was at around 4
p.m.
5 p.m.
5 p.m. Good. And that was, you said at Kamocha? Did you start Kamocha at your office in Kamocha?
Yes.
On that day, what time did you leave office?
I left immediately after signing. It was around 5:30.
Around 5:30. Where did you go?
I went to Kampala Road. Actually, it was Uganda Road. At a Hotel Triangle, and I picked Mr. Nkonge and drove him to Buambo.
I see, you picked Mr. Nkonge and you drove him to Buambo. That's his residence. What time did you deliver him in Buambo?
No, we drive while making stopovers side country. It was around 8 or some.
Around 8. You left him in Buambo and went back to Kamau. When did you see him again thereafter?
I saw him the following day. Actually, I saw him after 2 days.
Okay. You saw him after 2 days.
Can you give specifics now? We shall get those.
Yes, my lord. 14th. So did you see him on 16th?
It was 14th.
Yeah.
Then
You did not see him on 15th.
I didn't see him on 15th.
Did you see him on 16th?
Yeah, I saw him on 16th.
Where did you meet?
I met him in town.
Town is big, even where we are is town.
At Uganda Road.
At Uganda Road, at the same hotel.
Not at the hotel, there is an office there.
Or you have an office there?
Come on.
Do you have an office there, or does he have an office there?
He doesn't have an office there, neither do I have one there, but I found him at an office at Uganda Road.
Like, is it a school office, a hospital office?
No, it isn't. It is that office is owned by one lawyer, Tugume.
One lawyer called Tugume.
A friend, I believe, to him.
A friend to him. Okay. So what did you transact in that office? of Mr. Tugume?
That particular day?
Yes. Nothing. Okay. Now, do you know these people calling themselves Barungi, Baingana and Company Advocates?
Barungi, Baingana and Company Advocates?
Yes.
I know them.
Where is their office?
Their office is located in Fort Potro.
Okay. Have you visited them in Fort Potro?
I've not visited them in Fort Potro.
Who do you know in that office in particular?
I know Council Muhinda.
Who?
Council Muhinda and Council
Muhinda. And Council who?
Prosper.
Prosper. Have you had a meeting with them in Fort Potro regarding this case?
No.
No. Have you ever discussed this case with them?
Yes.
From where?
I discussed this matter after consulting with them at a NUP building, that is in Kampala.
In NUP building on the street or in some office?
What's in some office?
In some office. Whose office was that?
That office is for one Council George Byamkama.
George Byamkama. Is Mr. George Byamkama in this court? If you look at all of us, I could be that Byamkama. Is he not in this office? Look here at us, the lawyers. Look at the public. Is he here?
He isn't.
He's not. He's not.
No, George Byamkama is not in this court.
He has an office at NUP building.
He has an office at NUP building on the 60th floor.
At the 60th floor. How, if he's shown to you, would you be able to point him out?
Yes.
Had you met him before?
Yes, I've met him before.
Is he the second gentleman from the right? The gentleman putting on glasses? He's not the one. Okay. What was the subject of your discussion with Mr. George Byamkama? Who is not this one?
Actually, it is where I took oath from.
That's where you signed the affidavit from. Look at this affidavit, my lord. I'm looking at the affidavit in MA 492 and 93. Look at this. And look, is that the affidavit you signed from his office? Look at the signature at the back, no trouble.
This is my signature.
That's your signature. Is that the affidavit you signed at Mr. George Byamkama's office at NUP building?
Let me have a look. Unfortunately, mine is not commissioned.
Yeah. Look at pass it on. Well, my lord would need for them transit facilities. Is that the affidavit you signed from Mr. George Byamkama's office?
Yes, this was signed.
Okay. So who attended that meeting?
That I signed this?
when you signed that? Who was in that meeting?
There was Council George Byamukama himself.
Yes.
There was Council Muhinda.
Council Muhinda.
And Council Prosper.
And Council Prosper. Okay. Now, so in that office you discussed issues to do with this case, and that is where you changed the earlier position from, correct? Okay. Now, look at the signature that you put on this. What date does it bear?
Which affidavit is that?
The same affidavit, my lord, of the NDMA.
It bears the date of 14 September.
Okay. 2020. And the subject in that is to retract the earlier affidavit which you signed hurriedly. Confirm.
Yes.
Good. Return it as my property. Who gave you the advice of retracting your earlier deposition? Who advised you?
It was Council Muhinda after and consulted him. Yes.
Is Council Muhinda in this court? Is he in this court?
Yes, he is.
Where is he? Would you point him out? I hope I'm not the one. Is the gentleman at my extreme right on this table after you had consulted. So, on the same day, did you sign two affidavits, sir?
On the same day, I didn't sign two affidavits.
Good, thank you. Now, at what time did you sign this affidavit in Byamukama's office? Morning, afternoon, night?
It was in the morning hours before 1.
Before?
1.
Before 1 o'clock. Good. Gentlemen, have you ever heard of something called perjury, which is telling a lie on oath? Yes or no?
I've never had a conflict.
Do you know it?
I know it.
Do you know it's a criminal offense?
I know it's a criminal offense.
Did you commit perjury, or are you committing perjury now? No. You signed an affidavit on 14th September 2020 at 5:30 in Kamwocha. You signed an affidavit retracting that one on the same date in the morning. And you are not telling a lie.
I pray to beg your pardon.
You want to beg my pardon?
Yes.
You signed at 5.
Yes, the same day.
This one you signed in the morning before 1 o'clock.
And you were retracting one you had not signed.
The challenge here could
When
have
you have
been,
forgotten that you're under oath.
the challenge would have been the date. Because I signed, maybe it would
That's
have
why his first question was, did you sign on 14? He said yes. That's why he took you to the timeline now. What time did you sign which one? He said the other one was about 5:30.
No,
Now this one was about 1 o'clock.
in my own understanding, I didn't sign two affidavits on the same day. This is why
So you're now checking.
No,
But the date, what date did you put?
What date did you?
Give him the two documents.
Sir,
let me see the two documents.
this is the one you signed hurriedly. at Kamocha. This is the one you signed not hurriedly, where you took your time, and after consultation at NUP building. On the same date. Do they bear the same date? You have a diploma in engineering.
This one bears 17th, and this one bears 14th.
Oh. Yeah, oh, sorry. Allowed 14th is sorry. Kagombe. Yes, for this is the one. Here you go. That is the one at NUP building. Right. Do they bear the same date of 14th September?
They do bear the same dates.
Of 14th September.
September.
Okay. And that was at NUP building.
What I want to clarify on these dates, when I signed the first affidavit, actually I was asked to sign and not put the date.
Okay.
And I didn't put the date myself. I signed, but I didn't put the date.
On both of them?
No. Actually, both of these, the first one which I signed from Kamocha, I was asked not to put the date, which eventually I didn't understand because I was not really so much involved.
But the day was 14. You're confirming?
This is what I can't tell, my honor. The date, I can't really be so specific when it's not me who wrote in my own handwriting the date.
But when was it filed in court?
You open the first page of the same.
This.
15. It is here. 15.
It was filed on the 15th of September.
Okay. You may now return it and brace for more questions. So, in the meeting that you had with the Director General of ISO, what did you discuss?
In the meeting?
Yes. You held with the Director General of Internal Security Organization. What did you discuss?
I've not held any meeting with the Director General
of ISO.
ISO.
Do you know him?
I hear about his name.
What is his name?
Is Kanokaka.
Kanokaka Bajenda. Okay. In the other meeting that you had with the CDF, Chief of Defense Forces, at his office in the presence of Mr. Kibalama, what did you discuss?
I've not had such meetings myself.
Okay. Has Mr. Kibalama ever told you about any?
No.
Even when you were in Mbale where you are with him?
He has not shared with me such meetings. I don't know whether it is because they are highly sensitive. I don't know. I've not heard about that.
Okay. So he may not have trusted you.
Could be.
I see. Mr. Kibalama says, one, when you signed the affidavit, the original affidavit which you say you signed from Cambodia, for he moved to Kayunga and not to Buambo. Okay? You are saying you took him to Buambo, and for you picked him at after 5:30. When you were signing this affidavit, which you signed hurriedly, was Mr. Kibalama also in that meeting? Yes or no?
I want to clarify on to that. Mr. Kibalama signed his affidavit. I was with him. He signed from Poto.
Okay.
At one place, I don't know what it's called, but it's a garden. And I think
but you were there with him?
Yes, I was there with him.
What time was it?
It was at around 6.
6 p.m.
Yes.
From there, did you proceed with him?
I proceeded with him.
To where?
I took him to Buambo.
Okay.
But,
now, okay, but?
Actually, he was given papers to sign, not the affidavit itself.
It is all right.
He signed, and he had a meeting in Kayunga the following day.
Yeah.
So the lawyers pleaded with him to have his signature appended onto these papers,
okay,
and that I would read the affidavit for him in the morning when they are done. So I took him to Buambo, and then the following morning we proceeded. I didn't move with him to Kayunga, but however, I went to Lukwago and Company Advocates, that is at Kamocha, where NBS was located, and I read through his affidavit, and of course I didn't even tell him what was in the affidavit, but he had read it, appended his signature.
So you did not even tell him? Okay.
No.
Now, thank you for volunteering questions and answers. Now you answer mine.
Yes.
He signed from Bokoto.
That is him, not me.
Yes, him. You are the same person who has just stated in this court a few microseconds ago that you picked him from a hotel along Buganda Road and you drove him to Guam. Which of the two is the correct statement?
Actually, I wish to retract the first statement. Mr. I picked Mr.
You cannot come here under oath and you begin throwing statements like that. What are you retracting? This, you think it's an arrest report? Because you're cooking lies in your head and then you say something, you forget, and you say something else. You're taking us for drama. I can throw you in. You took oath to say the truth. Now I'm retracting. Under oath, I'm warning you for the last time. You make another false statement, you're going to go to the zero. You're not here for drama. If I got any other falsehood on this record.
Mr. Kagombe, which of the two statements is correct?
I picked him from Uganda Road, and lawyers were waiting for him at Bokoto. I drove him myself, took him.
So you have a third statement?
He signed, and then I took him to.
That's your third statement now. Correct? Yes? No? It is your third statement. Okay. You're entitled, by the way, you may choose to even bring 10 statements. Just remember one thing, you're on oath. And you should be a serious statement because this is a serious court. You're dealing with serious people. Let's move. At a press conference attended by yourself and Mr. Kibalama, you said Kyagulanyi undertook to pay to you, the former executive, you are part of the new executive as well, $5 million. You are on video. Was it $1 million or million shillings?
In the press conference?
Yes. In the video recording, you said he was supposed to pay you, these people were supposed to pay you $5 million for taking over your party, and they never honored that. Was it $1 million or million shillings?
It was $1 million.
They promised $5 million. Have they paid a portion of it?
No man has been paid to me or to any other person.
What were you selling?
Because we had verbal engagements and gentleman's agreement.
Yes.
This issue just came in as a promise after when things had worked out, and it is not documented anywhere that he said he was going to give us this money.
He only said it verbally.
Yes.
Have things worked out?
Things have not worked out.
What were those things that were going to work out?
We had a series of meetings
Yes.
before we reached the marriage between National Unity Platform and People Power to
Yes.
form one force. And all that we were always talking about was never documented, but according to how we have moved, there is a big lapse. This is why I mean when
They
I
have
say
not
things-
honored.
Yes.
So therefore things have not worked out. What was supposed to be your share of the $5 million?
That wasn't put into contextualization because it was basically something
The animal
that
had
was,
not been slaughtered.
yeah, it was discussed extensively between the two principals.
Okay. Earlier on, you told this court that you were not privy to the preliminary discussions between People Power and Mr. Kibalama. Would you now, and this is the second statement that you were part. You had a series of meetings. So which of the two statements is correct? One, that you were not privy to the original meetings, or that you were...
As the principals of two organizations,
Yes.
they are
To come here today.
I never requested for any escort and I came with a private car, so I was not...
Who did you come with in this car?
I came with Mr. Kibalama.
Do you know what he has told this court, or you don't know?
I'm not certain.
Then tell the truth. Is there a way you need this court to help you?
Myself, no.
Yourself, no. You are comfortable in Bali.
Yes, I am.
The UPDF has come out openly to tell the world that you're under their custody and protection. Are they telling a lie? Or they're telling the world the truth?
I've not been escorted by UPDF and I've not been guarded by any such.
In whose residence are you staying in Bali? Now that you're okay, you're a free man. In whose house are you staying?
I'm staying at his friend's residence.
He said otherwise. He's on record. Do you know that friend's name?
I don't know.
You don't know. Are you a free man?
Yes, I'm free.
Are you paying rent for the house where you're staying in Bali?
So friends, residence. Let's complete this.
Thank you, Ngwe. Okay, 2 weeks. You man, young man, 39 years, you're working for a family. What are you doing in Bali?
As I stated to this honorable court, I have a business that is running and my stay in the valley doesn't really...
What are you doing in Bali?
Ask the question first. Went for holiday.
Yeah, it was the person I went with is still there and I'm keeping...
What are you doing in Bali?
Nothing.
You're just enjoying life with your uncle.
That is where I'm staying.
That's where you're staying. Good. Now, gentlemen, when you were running this political party, were you running it for purposes of accessing power to govern, to manage the affairs of Ugandans?
Yes.
As we speak, is your party making progress in that direction? And you are an officer of the same party.
The party is making progress.
Is making progress. Are you still a member of this party? Yes, no.
I am.
Who is your president?
It is Honorable Chaplain.
Is he making progress in this party? And are you happy with his performance thereafter?
He is making progress.
He is making. Are you happy with his progress thereafter? With his performance thereafter? And of course you're part of the team. So are you happy with the progress you are making?
This is where the quotation now comes, because I already told you.
Are you happy with the progress you are making as the National Executive Committee of the National Unity Platform?
Not certainly.
You are not certain. Do you have grievances? Yes or no?
Yes.
Have you addressed them to the party president?
Yes.
In writing?
Not in writing.
And he has not addressed them. What are they?
As the senior administrative secretary to the platform,
Yes.
having reached out to this understanding under 14,
Yes.
I've always engaged the executive that the people that I know to be in the executive
Yes.
about how we upgrade. And
Yes.
though we upgrade when there were few people,
Yeah.
now we are very many
There
actually.
are very many.
Yes.
Yes.
I kept addressing this, but there was no action taken.
Okay.
And at least I reached this to all these people, I assume.
Have you raised these issues in the National Executive Committee?
Of National Unity Platform?
Yes. Yes and no?
I have not, because when we came from Kachiri, we had agreed upon a number of things. One of them was to organize for an extraordinary delegates conference where we shall fill up the elective positions
The vacant
on the platform.
positions.
Pardon?
The vacant position.
Yes. And I kept on guiding to have
Which are those positions, by the way,
that we are
that have remained vacant?
quite many.
Okay.
There are quite many.
Like which one? Can you remember?
There is the position of National Mobilization Secretary. There is a position of Secretary for Youth, Secretary for Women.
Okay. And we are talking about a space of 2 months after Kachiri.
Yes.
You have wanted all those ones to be filled, a delegates conference to be called.
Because it was agreed upon.
Because it was agreed upon. Could that be the reason you're now up in arms with your colleagues in the executive of the party? Yes?
Certainly, yes.
That is the reason. Got the $5 million these people promised. If the positions were filled, would you happy and would you go back and happily serve with your colleagues in the party?
I wouldn't.
You would not. So the differences are irreconcilable. Correct?
I wouldn't.
Who is the Secretary General of National Unity Platform?
The Secretary General is David Lewis.
Is David Lewis?
Yes.
Gogongoya. Right?
Yes.
Which positions did you say are missing? Did you say national mobilization? Okay. Look at this document. Do you recognize the signature on that document? Down there. My Lord, I'm going to address you on the side. Do you recognize that signature?
Yeah, I do.
Whose signature is that?
This is my signature.
What is your name? Kagombe.
My name is Singapore Kagombe.
Okay. What is, and did you recognize the other signature?
This?
Yes.
This is Bobi Moses Kibalama.
And that was your president. You signed it as, don't turn the page, you will confuse the progress. What did you sign as?
I signed as the outgoing Secretary General.
Okay. Read the document to court.
This is National Unity Platform.
Yes.
Reference 242/26. The 20th of July 2020. The Secretary, Electoral Commission, Kampala, Uganda. Read. Introduction of the elected platform leadership. At the delegates conference of the platform held at Kachiri Gardens and Hotel on the 14th of July 2020, the following persons were elected to the corresponding positions.
Read them.
Roman number 1, President Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert. Roman number 2, David Lewis, Secretary General. 3, Deputy Secretary General Aisha Kabanda. 4, Secretary for Information and Spokesperson Joel Senyonyi. Secretary for Women Affairs Flavia Carolina Nabagabe. Secretary for National Mobilization Nyanzi Fred Sentamu.
Next.
Senior Administrative Secretary Simba Paul Kagombe.
Yourself. Just return it. Tell court the vacant positions. Okay. On this, read the first, look at the first letter before the one you are reading.
This first one?
Yes.
Reference to...
Not to who?
The Secretary Electoral Commission. Dear sir, submission of minutes for delegates conference held on the 14th July 2020 at Wakiso Gardens and Hotel.
Okay, read.
You will recall that on the 24th June 2020 we notified you of our intentions to hold a delegates conference on the 14th of July 2020. I write to inform you that the delegates conference was successful and business was conducted in accordance with our agenda. I now hereby write to attach the minutes of the said delegates conference, which include the elected leaders to the National Unity Platform in accordance with Section 11, subsection 4 of the Political Parties and Organizations Act 2005. I also hereby introduce them to you.
My Lord, this is annexed to the application itself. So you want the Electoral Commission to change whenever you have a change of mind. Is that how you want the Electoral Commission, a constitutional body, to transact business the same way? Yes, my lord, I mean on the application. You want the Electoral Commission to change documents whenever you change your mind.
Not really.
When you why are you in court? You are in court conceding to the application that these things change at the Electoral Commission. And the reason is you changed your mind when these people did not honor the agreement, correct?
There are factors that fuel that. Because anyone would really change his mind if something that you have agreed does not go well.
Okay. When do those factors come into play?
When you have agreed, when what you have agreed about doesn't come to play.
Doesn't come to play. Okay.
Let's wrap up.
Thank you, Madam. Mr. Kagombe, do you know Basile differs?
Basile differs. I don't know him.
You don't know him?
Yes.
Do you know this gentleman called Twala Hassan?
I don't know him.
You have been Secretary General to this party.
Yes.
You don't know them.
I don't know them.
And as you referred to them in your original affidavit, you do not recognize them as members of this party.
But the first affidavit, I think I signed the second affidavit.
When you said in the first affidavit you do not know them, you do not recognize them, were you telling the truth?
I cancelled the first affidavit. That is why I signed the second affidavit.
Okay. Before you cancelled it.
So were you lying or no? That's what they're asking. In the first one you say you don't know them, and you have repeated it.
Your Worship, I've not interacted with Basile differs because being...
You said you don't know them.
This is what I'm trying to substantiate about. I don't know them because having been, though I was a Secretary General in that capacity, there was no way I could have known all members of a big organization from wherever they come from.
One of the claims to be a youth secretary. You're lying.
Talk.
I've said I don't know them.
By claiming to be a youth secretary, a position you have said remains vacant, was he telling a lie? He's not.
I think that comes up to him to prove whether he
A youth
is
secretary is serving in the same National Executive
but I
Committee with
still
you.
maintain that I don't know him.
You don't know him. So when you said in that affidavit you don't know him, you were right. Correct?
Yep.
At least until the time you cancelled that affidavit. And now a question came from court. Did you cancel it because it was a lie? That affidavit was false. Is that the reason you cancelled it? Or because you were advised later?
I didn't cancel the affidavit because of that specific point.
Why did you cancel it?
Said it was after consultations that I changed my mind to swear another affidavit.
Where do you cancel it incidentally in this affidavit of 17th? Can you point out to court where you cancel the original affidavit?
I signed a supplementary affidavit to...
Okay. Now, you signed it. In paragraph 6, this is what you say. That is my lord of 17th. September. I regret having been led into signing a first affidavit, as it does not speak the whole truth as to what happened, and that is why I withdraw it. I stand by the second affidavit, drawn by Barungi, Bayingana, and company advocates as the truth. Now, the one of Barungi, Bayingana, are you referring to this very one now? This very one? Or you're referring to an earlier one that was signed on 14?
I know the one that was signed under 14 because this was the supplementary to state a second.
No, I am actually happy, my lord, and this is my last leg, which brings us close to the answer. So, by that one of Barungi Bayingana, are you referring to this one? Have it.
I wrote down on 14th again.
Yeah, this is what I mean.
This is the one you're referring to. Okay. Now this brings us close to the answer. My lord is saying he's standing by this one of 14th in miscellaneous application. Good. So,
we should actually be wasting time with that because yes, in that one was surely now it gets another one of 18.
of 17.
17.
Confirming.
With similar content.
Yes. Thank you, my lord, for the observation. Now, two last questions. One. Mr. Kagombe, are you aware that your party has since nominated candidates for youth councillors, and have been nominated by the Electoral Commission? Some have gone through and others have failed in the election. Senior Administrative Secretary. Do you know that the youth elections have been conducted in this country by the Electoral Commission?
Yes, I know.
Are you also aware that the Electoral Commission has a roadmap?
Certainly not.
And that it is continuous?
Yes.
Are you aware that some youth have already been elected on your ticket?
I do.
Are you happy with that?
I am.
Are you also aware that councillors have been nominated by your party to run in the national local government elections? Yes or no?
I am aware.
Are you happy with that?
Not really.
You're not happy with it? You actually don't want them to win?
There is...
Do you want them to win?
Can I make some clarification?
No. Just answer this. Do you want them to win? Yes or no?
No.
You don't want them to win. Do you agree that they were led by your signature to join this party? By your signature alone?
They were?
That they were led to join this party by your signature alone? And that you introduced to the world a new leadership in this party that signed their nomination forms, and that they took their papers to this same Electoral Commission, National Unity Platform, to have the officers you showed to them sign their nomination papers and present to the Electoral Commission? Do you know it is your signature that led them?
I know it is my signature that led them.
And you know that when you announce to the Electoral Commission, you have announced to the entire country and the entire world.
I know, but when processes are not followed, then what happens?
And who did not follow the processes? Are they those candidates or you?
When we came from Kachiri, I stand on to this.
Have you ever been the treasurer of this party?
I've not been the treasurer, I've never been.
And you agree that matters of the treasury are handled by the party treasurer?
True.
And that it could only be the party treasurer to testify on issues of facilitation for the delegates conference, and not you? Yes or no?
It is true.
Did you have a treasurer at the time of Kachiri?
At the time of Kachiri, we had a treasurer.
What was the name of that treasurer?
There was Winston. She was.
Has he complained to you that he did not get facilitation?
Yes.
Have you ever received accountability from him?
No accountability has ever been brought forward.
Has his complaint ever been addressed to you in writing?
No.
Fine. As you appear to be a horrendous liar, do you know the implication of that lie to the political life of this country and its citizens? Have you ever weighed them?
Yes, I do.
What could they be? Do you know just your lie can cause war in this country and millions of people perish? Yes or no?
It is true.
Do you know, do you want your party to take power?
This is where the challenge
Yes
is.
or no?
Which party?
The one you belong to as a senior administrative.
This is because he's
You are senior administrative what?
Which part are you in?
I am
Which part are you in?
NUP.
Do you want?
What question are you asking?
I was asking because
You said you want your party to take power, unless you have crossed. Are you now in deep? He says you want your party to take power, I said now which party? Either you know you belong to two parties, and that's why you're very close to Don't talk that rubbish here. You went to the electoral commission and told them the new party is new. No, you can't be seen to be here saying no. We have the old party of new. You can't have old and new. When you went, you gave them, you misrepresented whatever person here. They registered a new party. And now you see now you're a member of which party now? Then you are. Don't think you're all fools. You can't say that in your founders, not in school.
Do you want
the
your
party you are in, you're a senior administrative, you sit as officer, and say no, which party?
Do you want your party to take power?
yes.
Yes. Do you want to remain an officer of this party?
Yes.
With this conduct, do you want to lead people? Do you want to lead people with this conduct? Have you been facilitated by the state since your life is about facilitation? Has the state assisted you in any way since 17th?
I've not been facilitated.
Well,
Let's wrap up, let's wrap up.
are you aware that in your party president, Chagulanyi, is an aspirant who has written to the Electoral Commission following your signature?
I am aware.
You are aware. And you are aware that he's busy telling Ugandans to vote your party into power. And you do not want that to happen. Do you want Chagulanyi as a member of your party? Yes or no?
Yes.
As a member of the party, does he have a right to contest for the presidency of the party?
It does. Yes.
Does he have the right to stand as flag bearer of your party?
constitution I always say in the party.
The constitution of the party, and the national constitution. And by your signature, you led him to pursue those ambitions. Correct or not?
Yes. Was made, Mr. Segona, let's not repeat.
My Lord, I thank you very much, and I rest my case.
The examination.
With the permission, my Lord, I need to step out for a minute.
You have been a gazette, you have everything. It was attacked. Now you want to begin asking him about the whole thing they go through?
No, that is all we don't even have to go into further examination.
First submission by Tuesday.
My Lord, we are looking at the time now, at the hour.
You have the weekend and Monday.
We are blind, my Lord. The hour, my Lord.
File and serve, please. Applicant file rejoinder by 6th October 2020. The copy delivered schooling by 16th October 2020. Signing of the copies on the email.